Hi everyone, Stephen Spry again, and it's May the 4th today, as our friend tells us. I made a mistake going onto Facebook, and that meant that my initial evil plan of doing a daily video didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen was because I found out an old friend of mine from way back in the 70s, way back when I was at uni, had some pretty nasty stuff going on with his health, and I've been a little sidetracked the last couple of days. Needless to say, I've now heard that he's on the mend and will be headed home soon, and I'm looking forward to going down and see him shortly. But that means we can get back to, well, as normal as life can be. So that means we'll get on with the videos that I'm trying to do daily, as I said. not promising anything here. But it's May 4th now, and that means I've got an idea for a videos to help relaunch what I was trying to do. So let's go on that then, shall we? See you in a sec.
We're T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We have to go from ready to start. 2, 1, 0. Booster ignition and liftoff of Shuttle Endeavour with NASA's final space station crew compartment that brings a bay window view to our celestial backyard.
Ah, Yoda. What wisdom can you impart to us today? Wow. Terrible Yoda impression. Did you expect much more? Sorry. May the 4th. International Star Wars Day. Star Wars? Great story. I'm not going to argue about it or talk about it or go through plots or anything like that. I just enjoy the story. And so that's what we're all about here. That's what I'm doing right now, is telling stories. Not tales, stories. I started off by talking about I would have loved to have known my mother's story a bit better. The things she did when she was younger and you know, walking to school for 7 or 8 miles or something, trudging through the snow. Or no, she didn't actually get any snow in her hometown, but there was the horse, apparently, and sometimes rode a horse to school as well. And stories what she did when she was a teenager and a governess out in the middle of nowhere on a cattle station teaching kids when she was probably only 17 or 18 or something like that herself. No, it was a totally different time. It was 30s, 40s. I just can't imagine what life would have been like then. Nothing compared to like now. But again, back to the stories. I want to tell my story to my kids, and I want my kids to be able to recognise their own stories and write down their own stories so that they can communicate them to other people and to their children and so on, because stories are important. They make up everything that we do in life. You know, all around us, someone has a story. Some are good, bad, indifferent stories. They're all over the place. Everyone has their own. Trouble is, it sort of becomes like information overload when so many things are pounding away at your head, and you just say, nah, what do I believe? What do you believe? You know, how do you make sense of all the stories you're hearing from friends, from neighbours, from relatives, from the news, from TV, from social media? Bang, 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 bang. You know, there's only so much can fit in this head. There's lots that can fit in there, but there's only so much that you can process. So that's what this video is about, is deciding how to process all of this stuff that's bombarding you and decide what makes sense, what is true, what you should act on, and what you should ignore. Because there's only one person that matters here, and that's you, right? Simple as that. All of this other stuff that's going on around you, I'll tell you right now, 99.9% of it, almost all of it, as far as you are concerned, is BS. How's that for conspiracy theory? It really has nothing to do with you. And in fact, most of the stories you'll hear that are being fed into you are just, to use an expression, fake news. They're just someone else's narrative, someone else's idea of telling you what they want you to hear. Now I'm sounding a bit like a conspiracy theorist, I suppose. But if you don't want someone to know the truth, the real truth, what do? You feed them an alternate version and tell them that's the truth. Believe me, trust me, this is the truth, right here, over here. Sorry, this bit here, this is the truth. When in actual fact, it's over here. But everyone starts believing, if you feed them this information long enough, they'll believe that this is the truth. Why do people do this? Seriously. Why? Do you hear that? Kookaburra. Now that's truth. That's right outside the window. I can see him, probably. He's hiding out there somewhere. But that's the truth. What you see, what you can hear, with these eyes and these ears, that's the important stuff. So how do we decide what's fake and what isn't? That's the question. Those guys are laughing at me. Thanks, fellas. Thank you. I think they've finally stopped laughing at me. Oh, the beauty about living in Australia with a laughing kookaburra as your national symbol. Laughing at you on May 4th, Starwars Day. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, let's hope the hecklers have now shut up, and we'll get to asking the question, how do you work out what's true and what isn't? I suppose, first of all, you've got to look at the source of the information that you're getting. Where is your information coming from? Coming from social media, places like Twitter, Facebook? I mean, you could probably believe that if you didn't read it on Facebook, it wasn't true. It never happened. A lot of people believe that. I mean, where do you announce engagements and births and everything these days? On Facebook. So if it's there, it must have happened, right? But maybe not so much with the news. Well, what about the television, the radio, the newspaper, internet media, mainstream media or alternate media? Do you read a variety of it, or do you only read or listen to one particular brand or sort of information? Are you getting a balance in the stuff that's coming in, or are you just getting the one viewpoint? You've got to, you've really got to vary your sources of information. I mean, if you're going to Google to find an answer to a question, you don't just take the first thing at the top and go and look and say, oh yeah, that's the answer. Because if you look just a little bit above that, it probably says one of 54,987,333 billion zillion results. And you can't obviously do all of them, but you can go and look at 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of them, i.e. do some research. Compare what you read on each of those things, and then use this, form your own conclusion. So I'm saying that you don't believe everything you hear, not until you do the research. So be skeptical, do the research, ask questions, form your own opinion by, thinking about all this stuff you hear going on in the world. Because a lot of it, as I explained earlier, is an enforced narrative on you. People, devious people across the world, and there are zillions of them, corporations, politicians, you name it, whatever, they are telling you one thing, but they actually believe something different. So remember that. Do your own research, form your own opinion. Use the common sense that you've got. Don't just believe anyone because they said it happens or doesn't happen or whatever. Use your gut, use your common sense. That's what I think the focus of these videos is going to be about. It's sort of a common sense philosophy to what's going on in life. And, does it Is what you're hearing sound or feel right? No, right to you. Does it something strange about what's going on, or yeah, that's okay? Okay, simple way of dealing with it. Don't believe everything you hear. Think, research, check it out for yourself. Try and find some opposing viewpoints and balance out what makes sense, common sense to you. And being May the 4th, may the Force be with you. See you next time. Don't forget. That way. Like, subscribe. Thanks, guys. Ciao.